What if I told you that a single revolution could change the world? Welcome to our exploration of the French Revolution. In the late 18th century, France was a cauldron of discontent, brimming with ideas that would soon ignite the flames of change. This revolution wasn't just a local affair, it was a seismic event that sent shockwaves across continents. It challenged monarchies, birthed new ideologies, and redrafted the maps of political power. Join us as we unravel how this turbulent period reshaped not just France, but the entire globe. Before the storm, there was tension. Let's look at what ignited the French Revolution. In the years leading up to 1789, France was a veritable powder keg, brimming with financial, social, and political strife. The monarchy under Louis XVI was hemorrhaging money, largely due to its involvement in costly wars, including financial support for the American Revolution. This drained the royal coffers and necessitated burdensome taxes that fell predominantly on the common folk, exacerbating already severe social inequalities. The Estates General, an assembly representing the three traditional estates of French society, the clergy, the nobility, and the commoners, was convened in a desperate attempt to solve this financial crisis. However, it only highlighted the stark divisions and simmering resentments within the country. The commoners, or the Third Estate, felt particularly aggrieved, bearing the brunt of taxation without corresponding representation or power. Political incompetence and indifference among the ruling elites further inflamed tensions, setting the stage for an explosive transformation. With the stage set for conflict, France was ripe for revolution. July 14, 1789, a date that would echo through history. On this fateful day, an agitated crowd of Parisians, fueled by desperation and cries for liberation, converged upon the Bastille. This fortress, a looming symbol of royal authority and despotism, was detested by many as a stark representation of the monarchy's oppressive regime. The siege began fervently, with the revolutionaries demanding the surrender of the arms and gunpowder stored within. The standoff was intense, gunshots rang through the air, and the tension could almost be cut with a knife. After hours of confrontation, the revolutionaries breached the fortress, signaling a monumental victory for the common people. The storming of the Bastille did not just represent a physical conquest, but it was also a profound symbolic victory. It ignited a flame that would spread across France, rallying countless individuals to the revolutionary cause. The fall of the Bastille marked the point of no return for the French monarchy. Ideas can be as powerful as armies. Let's delve into the revolutionary ideals. In the heart of the French Revolution, a document emerged that would articulate the aspirations of a nation and echo through the ages: the Declaration of the Rights of Man and of the Citizen. Crafted in 1789, this seminal text was a bold proclamation that all men were born free and equal in rights. The Declaration set forth principles that were as radical as they were righteous, asserting the natural rights of liberty, property, security, and resistance to oppression. These ideals did not just stir the souls within France's borders, they sent ripples across continents. Nations watched and learned as France reimagined its social order based on the principles of liberty, equality, and fraternity. This triad of ideals became the rallying cry that would not only fuel the revolution but also inspire future generations to challenge the status quo in their own lands. The impact of these revolutionary ideals was profound and far-reaching. They laid the groundwork for modern democracies and influenced other significant documents, such as the United States Bill of Rights and the United Nations Universal Declaration of Human Rights. As nations around the globe struggled with their own quests for freedom and justice, the French Declaration stood as a beacon of hope and a blueprint for what a society founded on human rights could look like. These revolutionary ideals began reshaping not just a nation but an entire world. How does a revolution consume its own children? This chilling question takes us to the heart of the Reign of Terror, a period marked by extreme measures and radical governance in revolutionary France. Under the leadership of Maximilien Robespierre, the newly formed Committee of Public Safety wielded unprecedented power, aiming to protect the revolution from its enemies. During this time, the fear of counter-revolutionary forces grew intense. Suspicion infiltrated every level of society, turning neighbor against neighbor. The Committee of Public Safety, believing that the survival of the French Republic necessitated harsh actions, instituted the law of suspects. This law essentially legalized preemptive action against those deemed threats to the state, often without substantial evidence. The guillotine, a symbol now synonymous with this era, became a grim fixture in public squares. It was not just the fate of the monarchy that met its blade. Thousands of ordinary citizens accused of disloyalty to the revolution also faced its swift, final judgment. The Reign of Terror showed the dark side of revolution, where fear and suspicion ruled. From the ashes of revolution, a new leader emerged. Napoleon Bonaparte, a name synonymous with both genius and ambition, rose to prominence during the chaos that followed the French Revolution. Initially an artillery officer, Napoleon's military prowess and political acumen swiftly propelled him to the forefront of French politics. In 1799, he orchestrated a coup that ended the Directory, the then government of France, and established the consulate with himself as first consul. This marked the beginning of his rule, which would eventually crown him as Emperor of the French. Under his reign, France saw significant reforms. The Napoleonic Code, for instance, standardized laws across the nation and laid the groundwork for legal systems in various parts of the world. Moreover, Napoleon's ambitious military campaigns spread the revolutionary ideals of liberty, equality, and fraternity across Europe. His influence extended the French borders, reshaping the continent's political landscape. Napoleon's rule would leave a lasting stamp on Europe and beyond. The waves of the French Revolution reached far shores. As the tumult in France unsettled the foundations of its own society, it also sent shockwaves throughout the world, igniting flames of change far beyond its borders. In Latin America, the revolutionary ideas of liberty and equality fueled movements that would eventually lead to the overthrow of colonial powers and the birth of new nations. Similarly, in the Caribbean, the Haitian Revolution became the first successful slave rebellion directly inspired by the French call for fraternity and freedom. Across Europe, the reverberations were felt as well, challenging monarchies and sparking debates about governance and the rights of the common people. The seeds of modern political thought, deeply rooted in the Enlightenment and watered by the French Revolution, grew into the democratic ideals we see in many governments today. The legacy of the French Revolution in shaping political thought and governance cannot be overstated. The echoes of the revolution are still heard in modern democracies.